Hey, what's up, True Experience? It's your boy Richard McCaney. If you're new around here, welcome. Thank you so much for tuning in. Guys, we got a mission and it's simple. That is to help you learn how to experience your best life as we're learning to experience ours. Guys, we're all about wealth, health, and experiences, and we have been going over the book Atomic Habits by James Clear, and we're going to be talking about what your problem is. What's your problem? Your problem isn't knowledge. Y'all know what you should be doing. The problem is consistency. I know that's a problem because that's one of the things I hear more than anything. People know what to do. They'll tell you. Ask somebody who's struggling with something. They'll tell you they know what to do. I know what to do. I just got to do X, Y, Z. I know. Motherfucker, why ain't you doing it then? That's what I want to know. If you know so much, why aren't you doing it? Why aren't you living your best life? Why aren't you experiencing your best life? It's because you're not consistent. We're going to fix that today. We're going to teach you exactly how to take care of that, which leads us to our fourth law of behavior change. Make it satisfying. This is a key part, and this should be one of y'all's favorite parts because we get to be satisfied, but we get to have pleasure. Pleasure is a good thing. See, when something is pleasurable, the brain makes note of it that it's worth remembering and it's worth repeating. If something isn't pleasurable, there's no reward for it. There's no drive to repeat it. Your brain like, wow, I don't want to do that again. See, I did that thing and it wasn't rewarding. It wasn't pleasurable. I did not enjoy it. So I resist doing that activity. I resist doing that action. Even though you know you should do it, you resist it. Not fun. It's not rewarding enough. I'm not getting any pleasure. Oh, you got to wait, man. Long term. We understand that. But we respond to what's pleasurable right now. That's the cardinal rule of behavior change. Okay, just remember this. Cardinal rule for behavior change. What is rewarded is repeated. What is punished is avoided. It's just a good old great parenting tip. Okay, you want your kids to have good behavior? Reward good behavior. Okay, what you reward is repeated. Punish when they act a fool. People ask me all the time, boy, why your kid? Oh my goodness, why your kid so good? Oh, you just blessed. They were blessed with a couple spankings when they acted up. They acted a fool, daddy acted a fool. They acted right, they got rewarded for it. So they were just kind of like, ooh, when I do this, then, parents are happy, I'm happy, I actually got a reward, that's awesome. When I do this, I ain't trying to do that because, boy, I got towed up last time. The same is true for us. We have to make things satisfying. See, we're so used to getting stuff right now that when something is rewarded right now, a lot of times the reward that's immediate is worth more. I won't say it's worth more, but it tends to be more valuable and win out than what is merely possible in the future. You see that? A reward right now we hold more value on than a reward that might be possible in the future. So that's why when the decision comes, despite all your knowledge, despite all the brain cells and everything you know, when the moment of decision rolls up on you, instant gratification is the one that tends to win out. What's going to give you the most pleasure right now is the one that's going to win out. Not the one that you're going to get the delayed results from. Despite knowing that we get delayed results, we want what's good now. And see, if you think about your bad habits are typically reward focused immediately. You get a reward or something pleasurable or some kind of benefit immediately from that. But in the long term, your reward is bad. Okay, it's bad for your long-term results that you're looking for. The reverse is true for good habits. Typically, good habits, things you really should be doing, they're not rewarded immediately, they're rewarded later. Heck, a lot of times it might even be difficult or challenging or sacrificial in the first stages, and you got to push through that to get the real results later. Well, here's what's interesting, man. If you're willing to wait, you're going to have bigger rewards in the future. Like they say, boy, the last mile of the marathon is usually the least crowded. There's less competition way out there. Here's an example. Boy, you sitting down, you got this, what you trying to do, man? You got healthy carrots right here, you got the cupcake right here. Well, the friend's going to eat the cupcake right next to you, they gonna get their reward immediately. Tastes so good, so yummy, got that sugar rush, tastes good in my mouth, I like it. Meanwhile, I'm over eating some dry old carrots, just crunching away. Not very pleasurable, okay? At least let me get some ranch. You know what I'm saying? Some ranch and some peanut butter. But if you're just eating plain old carrots, not going to be very rewarding in the moment. 5 years down the road, he continues to make that habit of eating that cupcake. We already know the story. They the ones that ain't going to be able to get up off the couch during the day. They're the ones that are going to have extra joint pain. They're the ones that's going to have to be rolling up in the doctor. They're the ones that's going to be daggone diabetic because they be eating that stuff all the time. And they're going to sit there and you know what they're going to say? I know. I should stop doing this. I know. Who's not going to have to deal with all that? Who's going to get the reward then? This guy. Got to do the sacrifice right now. So as a general rule, the more immediate the pleasure, the more you should actually question, does this line up with your future long-term results? The identity that you want, the behavior that you want to experience a better life. Remember, if you want to have change, you got to change. If you want something better, you got to be better. So for your long-term results you're looking for, keep in mind a general rule. If it's more pleasurable right now in the instant moment, you should question, is this something I should be doing? Let's see how we can take advantage of instant gratification. Since we're already geared, since we're in the moment, we want to be able to take advantage of this instant gratification. Look, in order to get a habit to stick, guys, you got to feel successful. That habit's got to feel successful to you. There is only so much time and so long that you're going to feel like a failure before you change the rules of the game. You're just not going to let it happen. Your internal being is be like, I'm not good at this. I can't do this if you continue to fail. It has to feel successful. And one way to make it feel successful is with reinforcement. Let's say they called it immediate reinforcement. I apologize. It needs to be immediate reinforcement. You need a reason to stay on track. If a habit is a little bit, tends to be challenging or not rewarding, I should say, you need a reason to stay on track long enough for it to take effect. You want the end of this behavior to be rewarded. And immediate reinforcement is immediate reward. So this is also extremely powerful for habits that you want to avoid, habits of avoidance. Set up a reward system that makes you feel good. You know why a lot of times parents you'll see, maybe you've heard of it, that whenever a kid does a certain behavior that's good, you brush your teeth, you pick up your toys after yourself, you say yes ma'am, no ma'am, you put your dishes away when you're done eating, whatever these tasks you're trying to teach these kids, proper manners, proper behavior. They get to take a marble and put it in a jar. Okay? Every time they do a good act, they put it in a jar. Well, once that jar gets filled up, then they get a big reward. They get go to the movies, go to a theme park, have a sleepover with a friend, whatever it is you've set up as a reward. So now the action, what happens to their brain? They start associating every time I do this good action, I get to put a marble in there. That's not a big deal. Like putting a marble in a jar doesn't seem like a big deal. But when you know you're getting a payoff and it's working towards something better, you tend to get a little bit addicted to it. It tends to become a habit. You want to continue to repeat that behavior so you can fill up the jar, so you can go to the movies, so you can have some friends over, so you can get that toy. The same thing can be true for yourself because in habits of avoidance, like you eat out too much. Well, what do you get when you don't eat out? Like there's not a built-in reward system. It's not very satisfying to just, all you're doing is avoiding temptation. You're resisting temptation, and that's not fun to just constantly do. That's not a reward enough. So you could set something up like your own reward system, like, hey, you know what? We want to take a family vacation to Europe. And in the book, they give this example where this couple was like, hey, we want to stop eating out. We want to start eating at home more, spend more time together, cook better, eat healthier. We know the benefits of that. So every time we don't eat out, instead of just avoiding it, let's take $50 and put it into our savings account marked Europe trip. See, that was their marble. $50 marble. Every time we don't eat out, $50 in the bank account under this special savings. And so all of a sudden they started to reinforce their behavior of, we're not somebody who eats out all the time. We mainly eat in. And the reward for that was they got a trip to Europe. I love this idea. I think it's awesome. I do something that's very similar. And as a matter of fact, I just don't really give myself a reward because I understand the long-term benefit. I understand that I'm casting a vote for the person I want to become. And every time I show up, that's become my reward. My marble is as simple. X's on a calendar. Every single time I do an action that I want to repeat, I put an X on the calendar. I think when I first started out, once I completed like so many days in a row, like you do 66 days straight or you do 30 days straight, then you get to do X, Y, Z. That's a great thing for kids to put in place as an incentive or as a reward. You miss a day, you start over. And so that's become what I've been addicted to. That's how my habits start to stick. It's because I got a calendar over here on the board. I mark an X every time I do it. Every time I do the action I'm trying to make stick, I put I put an X. That's my version of the marble system. That acts as a reward because I know my long-term reward is what to pay off. Because my goal is to become the type of person who hits goals, who gets things done, who does not procrastinate, who is consistent. That's my goal. That's my reward. And every time I do that, I'm casting that vote. Here's an important note I want to make. If you do this system where you're doing this immediate reinforcement, you're giving yourself this reward, make sure your reward is not conflicting with your future identity that you want to be established. Example, if your goal is to become somebody who works out or who is healthy, hey man, I want to become somebody who's healthy, your reward can't be, I'm going to eat a bowl of ice cream. That's going to be my reward. It's conflicting. You're becoming somebody who's healthy. Healthy people don't eat that junk. And I'm just using ice cream as an example, but y'all get what I'm saying. Your reward should not conflict with your identity you're trying to get established. Buying something, maybe buying a leather jacket or taking that trip or doing something like that. A one that I actually liked was if you like going to get a massage. Hey, you know what? If I work out so many days in a row, or if I eat so healthy so many days in a row, well, when I do, I get to treat myself to a massage. See, that reinforces that behavior of some relaxation and taking care of your body. Not, my reward is let me damage my body. You're not that person anymore. If your goal is to not spend wastefully, then it shouldn't be like, every time I do something, let me put some money back and then I get to go spend money. It should be something else involved. So, the point of wanting to save money is so you can have more time freedom, have more time flexibility. That's why you're in a more financial situation. So don't go and spend money on that. Why don't you go treat yourself to, some kind of leisure activity of free time, or reading a book, or laying around, or watching something like that. Something that promotes like, hey, I can afford to lay around now. I don't have to work 24/7 because I've been saving up money. Does that make sense? I hope it does. I'm all about this, man. I want people to understand how powerful this is. So make it satisfying. This is the fourth law of behavior change. This is locking in a habit. We've talked about, imagine this is lesson 15. We've done 15 of these. Each one by themselves are instrumental. Like if you were to just take sections of what we've been talking about over the 15 videos, you're going to get a lot of value out of it. When you put all these little things together, man, you start to see magic happen. So we've talked about a cue, making it obvious. First law of behavior change, make it obvious. See your cue, your brain's triggering it, boom. And I see that produces a craving. Well, we've learned how to make that craving irresistible. I see something, now I have this desire to take action because, it's so irresistible. I got to do something, which moves to the third law of behavior change, which is the response, make it easy. I know if I do this, let me make it easy. It's easy for me to take this action. When you do that action, it's got to be satisfying. So it can be, here's the key, repeated. Fourth law of behavior change, make it satisfying. When that happens, it closes the loop. Because your brain's like, that, I like that. That felt good. That was pleasurable. What did I just do before that to get that pleasure? Reverse engineer, you go back. That closes the loop off. It ties it all the way back to the cue that led to that craving, that led to the response, that led to the reward. Now, this is powerful stuff. Imagine combining that with the 2-minute rule that we talked about when it comes to procrastination and all that. Man, you can get rid of procrastination and you can get rid of and implement some consistency. Your world will change, man. You'll start living your best life. Then you'll be able to experience your best life. That is the goal. That's what we want to do. That's why I'm so passionate about this book. And we still got a lot more to do. How to stick with good habits every day. That's what we're going to be talking about tomorrow. I hope y'all liking this. I love this stuff. I'm passionate about it. They go super nerdy in the book with a lot of stats, and I try to pull out that and give you the high points here, but this is valuable stuff, man. Figure out a way to make your good behavior, your good habit, satisfying. Because change is easier when it's pleasurable. So anyway, that's what we got today. I hope you like this. Y'all already know what the routine is. Show some love to the page, and I'll be back, man. And so until tomorrow, I'm out.